Hey friend, now that 2025 is here, looking back at 2024, there have been so many changes happening in the world of digital marketing, from AI being more integrated into many of the tools that we use within social media, content creation, to a resurgence in users using social media platforms like Blue Sky and Threads, and even Google reversing their decision to deprecate third-party cookies. In the span of 12 months, there's a lot more that has happened. So what best way to start the year by giving you my top 7 biggest predictions in digital marketing. Starting with SEO will go through a massive shakeup. So we already know that OpenAI's ChatGPT has Search GPT functionality included as of Q4 2024. That's publicly available. And if you think of another AI tool like Perplexity or Perplexity Pro, basically a lot of people's paradigms of the way that they do search or research is changing. And that means that's going to have a detrimental effect to a lot of your SEO efforts, right? Especially your content marketing. Rather than a person searching in Google search, they're now going to use an AI tool like ChatGPT or Perplexity to do the same exact job at a faster rate. They get to find their answers a lot faster. So that means a lot of your metrics are going to fluctuate, mostly negative from what I've seen. Whether that's your web traffic, whether that's your click-through rates or your keyword rankings, you're going to see those fluctuate a lot. That's not to say that SEO is dying. Right? I think SEO is evolving. There are a lot of avenues where you can still focus on SEO, excluding your website and your blog content. So YouTube is low-hanging fruit, right? YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. It's owned by Google. That's a great growth engine for your SEO efforts. A lot of these social media platforms are indexed by search engines. I'm not sure if they're indexed by these AI tools just yet, but look at your metadata, your descriptions within Instagram, within TikTok, and again, going back to the user's intent, a lot of people are actually searching and researching within the social media platforms to feed their curiosity. All right, next prediction is that there are going to be a lot more self-serve demand-side platforms or advertising platforms. And what I mean by this is mainly programmatic display platforms. So platforms like Roku ads, Smarty ads, AdLib, StackAdapt, and hundreds of other DSPs. If you come to think of it, advertising is obviously a big industry and people's attentions are diverging a lot. There's a lot more value in trying to buy that attention. So a lot more businesses will actually invest in advertising. That therefore means that a lot more platforms and even companies might even provide ad space or ad inventory for advertisers. 2 examples off the top of my head. I know that Amazon ads is now being extended onto other platforms, so it's connecting with other platforms. And second, Facebook Marketplace is now showing eBay listings, or the other way around, eBay listings are showing Facebook Marketplace listings. Long story short, there's a lot more avenues for us marketers to advertise on. Prediction number 3 is more AI-driven / low-quality content and ads. So while AI is a great tool for marketers, expediting the process of content creation or ideation or even creating campaigns, it's also really good at creating subpar content, whether that's a video or a text or advertising copy. And in fact, I personally can tell within seconds if a video or a social media post is AI driven within seconds. And if it is, I tend to switch off and I don't really value that content as much as I would have if I didn't know if it was AI driven. I think from a marketer's point of view, AI is great, but at the same time, there are a lot of negative points you have to keep in mind of. So one example is your content's not truly original, right? If you have another marketer having the same exact prompt for a similar brand, your copy might sound exactly the same, or even worse, you use the exact same copy that they've used because you're using the same exact tool and prompt. Another thing is that AI doesn't always fact check or quality assure, so it can give you misinformation that's completely wrong. And on that note, my advice would be definitely use AI tools, of course, but make sure that there's a human perspective and narrative by the time it gets to the public, and that there's a person quality assuring that process. Right? You don't want to just fully rely on AI and publish that content. You want to make sure there's a process for you validating what it's actually putting out, what you're putting out into the world. And just closing off on that point, humans will always resonate with human-led content than AI. especially with the way AI is at the moment. Whether or not in 10 years when AI is so advanced that it really does feel very human and very dynamic, my statement might be incorrect or might change. But for now, human-led content will always win. Prediction number 4 is that branding is going to be seen as a growth engine, and as there's going to be a lot more focus on it as a way to differentiate your business. So this one's a bit more conceptual, but if you zoom out and think of the economy, and if you think of the fact that technology, funding, ideas are no longer a barrier to entry, you're going to have a drove of new businesses launching left and right, thousands, maybe millions. And in that sense, you're going to see a lot more copy and paste business ideas with the same exact features, benefits, copy, color, etc., etc. And you can no longer differentiate purely with technology, for example. When you can literally prompt a mobile app within seconds, you can wireframe a website within seconds with AI tools. The way you differentiate is through your brand, and simply a brand is the personality of your business. In a way, it's your business personified. You can think of brands like Patagonia, focused on sustainable clothing. That's a type of customers they're trying to attract. You think of a company like Ben & Jerry's, they're focused on social justice, also sustainability. And as a marketer, you need to start thinking about how your brand is seen by the public. What's the culture that it's trying to capture? What beliefs do you stand for, stand against? And thinking from the consumer's point of view, we always buy products with emotions, and then we reason with logic after we buy the product or the service. And branding is one of those areas within marketing where you could influence that emotional side of customers a lot more than just focusing too much on highlighting your technology or your features or benefits, right? People want to stand for something, and if they're going to engage with a brand, they want to believe in that brand's mission. All right, prediction number 5 is that content creators and influencers will gain more traction and will have more leverage in 2025. When I say content creators and influencers, the reason why I've separated them is that influencers tend to have a negative connotation to it, but just for the sake of keeping this video consistent, let's just call them both content creators. So the creator economy is obviously a growing industry, and a lot more businesses are actually relying on not just user-generated content, but content creators to sponsor and promote their brand, both from a brand awareness and direct response point of view. And in many ways, content creators are the new media brands, or in fact, they're media businesses, right? They create content or media, they build an audience, and then they essentially utilize that audience for whatever purpose they want, right? So if a brand sees that you have an audience, they'll likely work with you if the product has some sort of correlation there. I see a lot of products seeming to have a partnership with HubSpot because their podcast might be in the marketing category. So there's a bit of an alignment there. And we're going to see that a lot more often, not just in the direct-to-consumer and B2C space, but also B2B. There's definitely a place for that. Just to put things into perspective, the global creator economy is valued at over $191 billion. And by 2030, which is in about 5 years, the creator economy is expected to surpass $525 billion. And links below if you're interested in reading about that reference. In short, it's a growing industry. And if you're a marketer trying to grow the business that you work for, or maybe you have a business of your own, definitely get on the pulse of content creators, influencers. What tools do you use to reach out to them? Platforms, tools to manage them, the best deals, and if it's relevant for your business. And if you want me to create a video on that specific topic, leave a comment. I will get that in the pipeline. So, penultimate prediction number 6, advertising will no longer be an option if you're trying to grow your business. So this one's a bit of a controversial one. While your organic and earned marketing channels are definitely still valid ways to grow a business, because of the fact that we're in a very hyper-competitive economy, if you can buy someone's attention and grow your business and still be ROI positive by doing advertising, why not use advertising? A great example of this is I'm currently working with a health and well-being client. And for the past 18 years, they've solely relied on their community, their audience, and SEO, search engine optimization, to funnel brand awareness and gain new customers. But as of last year, 2024, that approach no longer works and they've had to pivot and actually now invest in advertising. When I say advertising, by the way, digital advertising, not traditional advertising, more specifically paid search and paid social advertising. So Google ads, Meta, TikTok ads, because that's where the attention is currently, right? Especially the younger generation. I think a lot of businesses who haven't used advertising before will start to think about it and pivot into testing it out, right? So if you're working for a company that isn't utilizing paid advertising or paid media advertising for any reason, it might be time to start thinking about how to utilize it, because I can guarantee that your competitors are probably using advertising, if not planning on using it at some point. All right, prediction number 7, the final prediction is another controversial one, but I believe that social media usage will decrease, not just in 2025, but I think generally there are a lot of supporting facts that can support my statement. So TikTok potentially might be banned. That's an easy one. There are a lot of studies showing that people are using social media less. Facebook is also, for whatever reason, they've now implemented fake AI profiles, as well as removing manual fact checking within their platform. So knowing all those points, and to be fair, maybe I am being biased. I have a confirmation bias because I don't use social media like maybe most millennials and Gen Z people use it. I use it more as a tool to market myself. But the algorithms now, they're designed in a way to keep you glued onto the platform, entertain you. Not that it's a bad thing, but I think these platforms need to have, it's their responsibility to also educate their users in the negative effects of extreme entertainment or consumption of content. Whereas before, Facebook, that used to be a place to connect with people. Your feed was updates from your family and friends. Whereas now it's not to do with that. 90% of it is either advertising or suggested posts that are meant to ignite some kind of engagement. And usually those are either controversial or more likely negative posts to get a response from you, basically. Not to make this a political statement, but knowing that, I do believe people are going to be a lot more smarter with the way they use social media. And on that note, being smarter means using it less, or at least using it a bit more mindfully. And a lesson for marketers out there would be, if you're solely relying on social media, make sure to diversify, right? There's a lot more value in capturing your audiences through an email, which is the most powerful marketing channel after your website. And you don't want your audience to only connect with you because of chance, because of the algorithm. You want to capture those audiences and actually build a proper relationship with them and elongate that life cycle. Because what happens if some of these social media platforms disappear, or the algorithm completely destroys a lot of your current growth? And in essence, and to conclude that point, we don't know how long these social media platforms will be. And we've seen a lot of social media platforms come and go. Diversify the way you market your business and make sure you capture your audience's email address at the very least. And on that note, if you found value in this video, I'm not asking you to subscribe to the channel, but definitely click on the link below to subscribe to our newsletter. There's a lot more high value content that we will be releasing. And those are my 7 predictions for digital marketing in 2025. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching the video. Peace, my friend. Peace out.